I'm Diane Burnett with The Other Side TV. I have Tara Sutphen on the other beautiful field of purple and trees. Gorgeous.
Hi.
So we're all doing this Zoom thing now under the circumstances. So just learning it and figuring it out as we go along. But Tara's a very special guest. She's an author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements. What inspired you to write those books? And
Well,
come into
Blame It on Your Past Lives was because I really don't believe in blame. So I, like blame it on your friends, blame it on, anybody. So I decided, we should blame it all on our past lives. And it's really my spirit guide, who, we all have a spirit guide when we were born. And I got to meet mine very early because I had a near-death experience when I was 6 weeks old.
That's what I was going to ask you. You could tell us about your story. That would be a wonderful thing to start with.
And so, I had a near-death experience. I had 7.5 hours surgery and died on the operating table as a baby. And then I had another surgery when I was a baby, but I remembered everything of my past lives and everything of my babyhood. My parents, where we lived on a lake in Washington State, and I remembered everything. So remembered where I had lived before and like where my siblings had lived before and who they were to me. And so when I got to be 8 years old, I had another near-death experience in the San Francisco area. And that one is I hemorrhaged and was bleeding to death. And I was rushed to emergency surgery. And as they moved me onto the operating table, I did the last gasp. And I popped out of my body and I saw the light. But at the same time, I saw my spirit guide. My spirit guide talked to me about what my life would be upcoming. And I really didn't want to come back to Earth life. And I didn't feel anything, but what I did know is that your consciousness goes with you. So my consciousness had gone with me when I had died. And the body stayed behind. But I wasn't very attached to the body, which I would have, I'm very attached to my Earth life and my animals and my children now, but and my grandchild. But I, at the time, did not feel any attachment to the body. So that's where I began the Blame It on Your Past Lives. My spirit guide would write. If I wanted to know about Diane's life, I would have her spirit guide call out to someone who loves her very much, or her spirit guide, and then they would write through my hand. They would tell her everything she needs to know at that time. So that's where that book is. And then there's 2 other books actually that are Abenda books now. And then Soul Agreements also has Abenda. And hypnotherapy, I do a lot of hypnotherapy. So I hypnotize you to remember your own past lives and what you want to do.
In that. So when you're working with people and you're doing past life, so is it past life regression, or you're just talking about?
I do a lot of past life regression, but I also do, what I really work mostly with is way clearing. If you want success, I help you get over your blocks. If you need wellness, I help you get to your next stage of really strengthening your body. And, just anything that you need to accomplish in your life is basically what it's really using the past as a tool to get to your next, great space in your life to be happy and be carefree.
That's very helpful because we all have blockages. You may be very, very successful, so you don't have any blockages with maybe your career or business, but maybe it's something with family or relationships, or maybe, you're successful in your relationships, but you have a career block. So not all blockages are alike. So how do you decipher and how do you help people with that clearing?
That clearing, right? Because so many people are not necessarily knowing of what blocks them. And sometimes you don't care about what's blocking anybody. What you're caring about is that you're just helping someone find their next step into creating the clarity that they need. And so let's use an example of somebody who has feels that they just have to eat, all the time, and they're heavy now because, in their life, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid of going outdoors and experiencing any sort of hiking or nature. They're afraid of, not having any food in the refrigerator. They might even be super afraid of this time now of when we've been going through coronavirus. So, it just that locked up feeling like, oh, something terrible is going to happen. Well, a lot of times past situations before, it could be armies and famine of some kind. It can be that, you were left somewhere that's, it's so fearful that you are fearing something in this lifetime that's not really what you need to be focused on. So you go into, I usually alleviate what is it that you're seeing, because you'll make it up. You'll make up all real things, real battles, real times in history where something was happening. And so you can use it as a tool and say, oh, I don't have to be afraid there. I can actually come to the next.
I think that's so fascinating. So obviously people calling you and making an appointment with you has some belief, or they're open to believing because they want to get help and heal. What would you say to the person that walked in, you met, is curious, but really not a believer in all of this? How would you help them see the light with this as a good part of healing?
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like I have to help somebody see the light. I think that all paths are good and on the planet, as long as you're open-minded to hear it, see it, feel it, and know it. And so that's what I use as far as like just opening up to life, to whereas you're going to actually get to your next stage of really, not being afraid of knowing what you're successful at. And sometimes those things are, we confuse ourselves about the craziest stuff. But the bottom line is that we were born for a purpose, and we're born to do good things on the planet, whether it's being organized, whether it's just helping, your family get to a stage of wellness or completeness and what they need to experience. I mean, we're all helpers, and the more we help each other, the easier it is to get onto our next stage.
Right. Have you ever,
whatever that stage is, I think it's a continual stage. That's what I've kind of found.
have you ever had a person that you had an appointment with that was skeptical, but you helped show them? So what I was specifically asking was, did you have them go in and go, I want to try this, I'm not really a believer in it, but you helped show them something from their past, or you had some psychic ability with them that only they would know, and you shed light on that, and you made a non-believer a believer?
I'm pretty good at that. And a lot of people, some people will tell me that they can't be hypnotized, which for me, I was nominated for 2 Grammys actually for my meditations. And I can pretty much hypnotize anyone, because it's not like I'm trying to hypnotize you. I just allow you to become, and so you follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And so then they're like, oh my God, what happened to me? But the thing is that, it's just a way of suggestions embedding into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sometimes it takes us a while. We're even if you're skeptical, in a 15 minutes, you relax with it. Right. So I would say that I haven't actually had anyone that has said they hated it, or they, they didn't think it worked for them.
What was a client that you had that you've taken from point A to point B and they've seen drastic changes in their life with this healing?
Well, I have one right now who she just had a kidney transplant,
Mm.
and she had a kidney transplant about 9 days ago, 10 days ago, and she was very weak when I first started working with her. It took well, we first made an MP3 on hypnotism. Where she listens to it every night as she goes to sleep. And so if you want to go to sleep to it, you can. The suggestions embed into your brain. But she would listen to it that she was going to gain 30 pounds. She was really underweight, so she gained 30 pounds, and that.
Oh my God, can you have that happen the opposite for me?
Yeah, yeah.
About
Oh
that
yeah, no, I
later.
work on the opposite end of
Sorry, I
that
didn't interrupt. I'm going to talk to you about that.
all the time. Yeah, where we lose weight. Yeah. Yeah. And so she needed to gain 30 pounds. And so she did. And then the next MP3 that we made her a couple months later, she says, I know this is like out of line a bit because, I'm not feeling that well, but I have been spending a lot of time with my ex-husband, and I would really like, she's in her 30s, and I would like to have a boyfriend. Could you work that into the MP3? And so 3 months later, but at the same time, we're calling it kidney, So so about 3 months later, she had a boyfriend, a really nice boyfriend. He's a great boyfriend. And he's a client of mine now too. And so what happened is he wanted to give her, and he didn't get to give her a kidney because he's the same blood type, but he couldn't, you still have to be a match. And so he was on her blood team, and he's taking care of her now. And so it's really wonderful. And then, so the kidney, she passed the physical in December to get the kidney. And so she was on the list. And she just got a kidney.
That's wonderful. Well, that's good news. That's really
Yeah.
good.
Well, and even if you're on the list, it can take many years to get, organs. And so this is the fun part too. I have to say, what the even more fun part with her is that she loves horses, and this guy who he's a fireman, so he's a hero. He gave her a kidney. And so we didn't only get a hero, we got a hero's kidney. So the most noble and brave gave up a kidney for her. Oh, so us doing this, praying every night, really we call it praying and sourcing, she was able to get what she needed and wanted in her life. And so it's just being clear on your intent.
So manifesting.
So psychically, it's just drawing it in that this is the intention that you want. And so that's the psychic ability. A lot of times it's just being clear on where you're going, the knowing, the seeing, the hearing, the feeling, and that your thoughts, your feelings are clear, because a lot of times, even with psychics, as they're all over the place. And that's not the way that we need to work our life either. We want to go in a real clear space. The path before us is an incredible path, not just a mediocre one. As you know, your life has been incredible.
I've had a good life. I have great family and friends, and very grateful, definitely. So Tara, I wanted to ask you, in light, because of what we're all going through with this coronavirus, I didn't know if there was any healing besides prayer and setting good intentions for a positive outcome. If you had any insight in your beliefs, what you would suggest all of us doing to help either getting over this hump quicker or help heal and show people, because there's a lot of people out there suffering financially, emotionally, spiritually. So what would you say to people to help them get through the next few weeks, months, year?
Right. Right. Like when are we all going to get out of this, off the hamster wheel? Because I think that a lot of people are staying stuck for sure. And the fear, is a world fear. It's not just individual fears. It's a world fear. And so it's really interesting how that kind of correlates in our lives, because the way that people talk now, if you don't have a mask, or if you they're afraid of germs. Everybody became that, and that's what I said was going to happen before it all happened, was that there was something that all our health, we were going to be more health oriented, and we were going to be mindful. And so, boy, is that the understatement of all understatements. So besides just, hypnosis, I believe that embedding it into your brain, so praying with intention is really, and visualizations is the best, because really it's to overcome this and to get on a higher level of it, because so many people have lost their jobs as well. So the restaurants won't be the same. The all the food preparation is going to be changed. All the gatherings will be different for a long time, if not 20 years.
Right.
So we have to
So summarizing, telling people out there to sit quietly, have self-visualization of where you'd like to see yourself, to unstuck yourself in this current situation, maybe take up a hobby, art, music, sing, I don't know. But visualizing, we can't visualize things being open if they're not going to be open. So more opening your heart, opening up your mind, and being at peace with the outcome, I guess. Is that what
right? And well, being at peace with an outcome, but being also proactive in your life, because we can't just see it. We have to actually live it. So we have to move into proactive movement, and so that's eating well, and that's exercising a bit, and keeping us going in a positive direction. Yeah.
Well,
All
lovely.
the apparitions behind me.
You're in Alabama right now.
Mm,
So Tara
Alabama.
and I are both live in Malibu, and we lived around the corner from each other for the longest time. And now, well, you have family in Alabama, correct? That's you.
Yeah, I have family in Alabama, and best friends. Yeah.
I've never
And,
been there.
oh, you haven't been? I know. I hadn't been here either until a few years ago. But oh gosh, I have the greatest friend group, and people here. Oh, beautiful, amazing friends. And so no, but I live in California though.
Yeah, no. I know full time. So how are people in Alabama taking this? Because Californians obviously protesting. There's Palm Springs is open now. You could do things in Newport Beach. You could do things in Ventura County. Malibu, Los Angeles, pretty much still at lockdown. How is it in Alabama? I'm just curious.
Well, Alabama is pretty locked down so far that we've kind of seen, but and I've traveled, actually I crisscrossed both ways, so driving. So I've already been down to the southern tip, and come back. So up north towards Nashville. And it's been, everybody's wearing a mask, but in the southern part, they weren't wearing masks at all, but it was so hot. It was like 90-something degrees, so.
Oh, I was suffocating
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not even that hot here yet in Colorado, but I have different textured masks. I find that I have to have the face covering that's very thin, or I get very claustrophobic. But I do have a couple of thicker masks that look very cute that someone made for me, and I'm trying to wear, but I can't breathe. After a while, I have to put it down to here,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I can't do it. But how do you feel? So obviously, I'm all for out of respect, and who knows if it's stopping any kind of germs going in, going out. There's always a lot of controversy on that. But being in the outdoors, knowing that you're going to be 10 feet, 20 feet away, what's your feeling on the masks?
Well,
situation.
I think it's, yeah, fine not to wear it out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind the airports because the airports always have had like so many germs and people are, you know, running to this and that. And who knows, you know, if they're sick or if they're, you
Right.
know, coughing and wheezing all over everything. So, you know, I don't mind that we have to wear the masks on the planes and
Right.
stuff. But you know, I mean, it makes it more cleanly at that point. So,
Now, Tara, you drove like I just drove from Los Angeles to Colorado. I am not about to get on a plane yet, and I fly all the time. And I've always been a germ phobe, but I think either you're wearing, I would be wearing a mask too long for any flight, I think right now. And then I'm hearing on the planes that they're spraying, you know, toxic stuff to kill all the germs. I don't really want to be breathing in and touching that. So I don't know when I'm going to be flying again, but you drove to Alabama from California. So was it your thinking as well? You're not getting on a plane yet?
no, I'm going to go on a plane here in a couple days, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I'm going to go, I can brave it. I'm brave.
I think it's great.
I feel that I can do it. Yeah, I mean, just masks. I want masks,
For sure.
but you know, we'll do
I think
masks.
they're mandatory anyway right
Yeah.
now. You'll
Yeah,
be
but
okay.
I don't think, yeah, and I know that Alabama is not, you know, like some people don't wear masks, but you know, I've been going to the acupuncturist here, and you know, they take your temperature every day, so you know, everybody's been really well.
I'm very healthy, knock on wood. I've been tested, and I take a lot of supplements and herbs. I do a lot of the preventative. I think
Yeah.
being healthy, mind, body, spirit is what we need to do.
Well, yeah,
Our outlook on life. Don't be so stressed. So in closing, what would you like to tell everybody?
Well, it's not to be afraid of your life upcoming. Really, we have to step into being bigger and better and more thoughtful of everyone. So the more we support everybody, and the more you know, that we will gain that support as well, and not to be afraid, because we are here for a purpose. So what will be your purpose that this has even happened to you? You know, it's happened to everyone. So how are you going to handle it? And you know, I always like to where when we're in awkward situations that we step into our better selves instead of our lesser selves. So as long as we can remember that, is to always take the high road and not the low road.
Always. So Tara, tell everybody how they could reach you if they want to go on a fabulous, which I will in the next year, hopefully get onto one of your phenomenal retreats that you put on, and tell people how they can reach you if they'd like
Yes.
to.
Well, I'm going to be in Sedona in July, we think. I'm going to go ahead and post it like in the next few days.
So your Instagram handle is,
and they'll be limited. They'll be less than 20.
and your
So,
Instagram handle, Tara, is what? The Instagram handle for your information is what? I forgot.
Yeah, my Instagram handle is Tara_psychic. No, Tara_insight.
Insight, that's it.
Insight.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Tara has really been to the other side. She's had multiple near-death experiences. She has a lot of knowledge about how to help heal people, how to figure out, like you said before, remove our blockages. So I'm interested in for sure coming to one of these retreats very, very soon. And we'll have you on again. Maybe we'll invite our mutual friend on as another guest to get some more insight.
All right. Yes.
Thanks for joining
Yeah.
me.
So yeah, TaraInsight.com. So
all right, you guys.
Lots of love and blessings.
Lots of love to you.